Hey everyone, my name is Levi and I have maladaptive daydreaming disorder. Did you hear my wrist crack? You know what I said about just scrolling through memes and just reacting to memes is not something I like doing. Well, I lied because I love scrolling Tumblr for memes. I've been on Tumblr for a very, very long time. I witnessed the Tumblr prom. That was when Hetalia was a big deal and Homestuck and Super Woolock. Yeah, that was a fantastic time, and that's also where I met some of my best friends. That was the time that ask blogs were things, so you would send in questions and then people who ran the ask blogs or ask blogs, sorry, I'm South African, so I'm kind of confused about which accent to follow. The people who ran those blogs, they would draw a reaction. And I remember my art was so trash back then, but I had a blog anyway. And I racked up more than 600 followers. Just saying, it was kind of a big deal. As opposed to my one friend who probably had I don't know, in the 100,000s. But I was proud. And then what did I do? I had a mental breakdown and I deleted my blog. Me going off to one of my 4,000 daydream universes after a long stressful. Yes, like I said in my previous video, when I got back from school, the first thing I'd do was just switch on my music and disappear. Stealing a plotline from a show for your daydreams. Yeah, so one of my favorite animes is called Attack on Titan. Hilarious because my name is Levi. And a lot of my favorite scenes I incorporated into my daydreams. Exactly how they happen, but just different and with my own characters. So, being someone who hyperfixates and has maladaptive daydreaming disorder makes consuming new media an adventure because my brain literally goes, alright, time to obsessively daydream about this new thing for the next 36.72 hours. You may think about nothing else, have fun. Uh, Stop. Yes, this is actually something, it's very annoying to me actually, because whenever I watch a new movie or new series and I actually like what I see, my brain doesn't want to let it go. And it's been like that with a lot of things, and that's why I think, the media I consume, I kind of have to be careful about, because when I watched 13 Reasons Why, that had a very bad effect on me. I mean, it had a bad effect on a lot of people, but for me, it was I started acting like the main character, not the girl, the guy. I can't remember his name. And yeah, it was a bit problematic. So I'm just saying, if the main character of a show is depressed, I'm gonna feel very sorry for myself for no reason, just so that I can relate to them as well. Friendship ended with reality. Now Daydreams is my best friend. Yes. When did they make Tumblr's scroll bar so tiny, by the way? How annoying is that? Bruh. Me trying to find ways to connect my favorite song's lyrics to whatever characters I'm currently obsessed with. I hate this so much. I hate this so much, but I also love it because... Can you tell how much I'm it's relating to me because I feel very attacked right now. Oh, here's a post about maladaptive daydreaming versus immersive daydreaming, which is very interesting. I'm not gonna go through it. I think you guys should check out Eli Sommer's new video. Sorry if I say the surname incorrectly. He made a very a good video about what the differences between maladaptive and immersive daydreaming is. And I think it's interesting. I'm gonna link it in the description so that you guys can read it, because it's a good way to go and look at it. But yes. When my daydreaming starts to affect my real world life. Well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions. When I was in school, I wasn't lazy, okay? I wasn't lazy. I procrastinated a lot, and it was because of MD. And I remember I'd get back home and I'd be like, I do not have time to daydream or to put my music on or to do anything else. I have to work on this project. No. My brain convinced me that I do, in fact, have time for daydream and pretty much everything else. And then I would end up finishing my projects in a very rushed fashion. Or I just not do it and I'd go to my teacher the next day and be like, I didn't have enough time to finish it. When someone interrupts your daydream and you have to remember where you left off and how to get back into it with the same amount of time. Exactly. Exactly, dude. Oh my god. When I lived with my parents, they would sometimes like interfere with my daydreams. And sure, it wasn't like I was used to it, but it was so annoying because, like, you would be in the moment, right? Like, imagine you're watching a movie and this really, like, intense, emotional scene is happening, right? And then someone just switches off the movie or the power goes out. That's how it feels. That's how it feels when you interrupt us, when we're daydreaming. Daniel, the cooler Daniel, me versus my parami. You know, we have ourselves and then we have our paramis, and our paramis are like these Mary Sues. If you don't know what a Mary Sue is, a Mary Sue is basically a character that is created without any flaws. Yeah, relatable. Our paramis are always like these fantastic versions of ourselves. I am once again asking for you to leave me alone when I'm listening to music. Yes, for the love of God, please. And it's like always when you listen to music, people want your attention. But when you're not listening to music, it's like, oh no, we're not gonna bother you now. Me wakes up early. Hey, I could be productive today and get shit done. 4 hours of reading fanfiction and daydreaming later. Me to me. Well, you tried. Now it's too late anyway. It resumes. See, that's exactly what I said earlier. It's like you have something to do and then you convince yourself, no, you will have enough time to get to it. And then eventually when you realize, oh damn, I've lost so much time, you're just like, oh well, that's too bad. Guess I'll just do it tomorrow. A lot of times, you know, things happen in the real life and then you bring them into your daydreams. And I'm really trying not to, but I think that's like a flaw that, you know, we need to admit that we do. That's why I don't like news. I don't like watching the news. I don't like reading the news because sometimes I read something that sticks with me and then it incorporates its way into my daydreams. That feeling when you stop daydreaming for a fraction of a second and realize you're actually all alone and miserable and all the exciting things you make up in your mind won't ever happen. That's the problem with maladaptive daydreaming. A lot of people use it as a coping mechanism. I used to do that as well, and I still do to an extent actually. But at the end of the day, you know, you experience all of these things, but as soon as you come back to reality, you suddenly realize that you don't have any of those things. And that's where the problem lies. I think it can actually have a lot worse effect. You know, it's sort of like the problem with social media, Instagram especially, Instagram and Facebook especially. Two people can have the exact same breakfast, right? But one's gonna slap a filter on their breakfast and put a few tags and say, oh, the most fantastic breakfast ever. The person who didn't do it will see that post and they would suddenly feel really trashy about their own breakfast, despite it being the same one. There's official research out there showing how social media links to depression and things like that, and I honestly think that it's very similar to maladaptive daydreaming, where constantly, like, around these positive things, good things are happening, you feel good, you feel happy, and then you come back to reality, and you have none of those. That's the issue with maladaptive daydreaming. A lot of people would have a problem with people saying maladaptive daydreaming is actually a bad thing, because to a lot of people, MD is a coping mechanism. But this is something that we cannot overlook, and it's very important. I should totally transform my daydream into a book one day. Always me, 1 minute later. Nope, the plot is too messy and it makes zero sense. Yes, I honestly tried to turn my daydream into a comic and no, the first like 2 chapters were fine because that is exactly how I imagined them. But then later on, it just became such a terrible like clusterfuck, I can almost say, that I just stopped because I was like, this only makes sense to me. Like no one else is gonna read this and be like, okay, yeah, makes sense. My MADD with the same daydream scenario for the 47th time this week. Ah, Mark, I relate so much to you. And actually, when you think about like the Una's Honest videos and like the way Mark reacts to Ethan, Ethan is MADD. Mark is all of us. Honestly, like I've had the same scene in my head for 5 years now, so. Ooh, this is important actually. For those of you who think that their paras or daydreams are cringy and are a bit ashamed of sharing things about them, please don't. Our paras, paracosms, and daydreams are primarily for ourselves. They don't have to appeal to anyone else. Yeah, so I fully agree with this. I'm a big believer in the whole cringe culture is dead. I don't believe in cringe culture at all, especially, you know, when it comes to things like self-inserting. I think it's very healthy. So the internet going like, oh, it's so cringe that you put yourself in a show or a series and that you engage with the characters or you're in a relationship with the characters or blah, blah, blah. And it's so cringe, dude. It's so cringe, bruh. No, it's not cringe at all. Don't worry about it. We all have secrets. We all have cringy things we do. I don't care. I am so over the whole like, oh, this is cringe. I just do not give a fuck. So yeah, that's why I encourage people to not feel like their paramis or their paracosms are cringy, because it's not. It's cringy to a select few people, but if that's what's happening in your mind, then that's perfectly valid and it doesn't have to appeal to anyone else. I said what I said. Having MADD is like being the only fan in a fandom. That's the best way I've heard maladaptive daydreaming disorder being described. That is exactly what it is. Having maladaptive daydreaming disorder is like being the only one in a fandom. That is precisely what it is. The fandom is in your mind. I hate how relatable that is, but that is so true, because you have your paracosm, you have your parami, you have your characters, you have the music. I mean, some people said that they have like a soundtrack for their paracosms. I know I do. You know, you have events, you have character development, you sometimes hurt and kill your characters for emotional response. This is the best. I'm gonna like it, and I'm also gonna like reblog it because I can. Dude, this person's art is really good. Mad Cactus art. I mean, it's not maladaptive daydreaming related at all, but I like their art, so I'm gonna follow them. Hello, new follower. I mean, new followee. Can you not be indecent in public? Hello? This is a family-friendly video. Continuing my already planned daydream, running off with a new idea that I thought of 10 seconds ago. I mean, you get bored with daydreaming the same thing, but you're still gonna daydream about that same thing for years to come. I told you, I just told you. You're stuck. You're stuck. Yeah, I think that's how I was when I first found like the forums and the Discord group. I'm like, what? How is this possible? I don't know any of you guys, and like everything you're saying is exactly how I feel. Bruh. Oh my god. Daydreaming instead of talking to real people. Why don't I have any friends? Yeah, so a lot of times what happened, like the way I make friends is people have to talk to me first. The friends that I have now are like people who come to me. They approach me first, and I'm like, I'm sorry, please understand, I lack a lot of social interaction abilities, and like, sorry about that. But in my daydreams, I'm like, yo, what's up, bro? Let's be friends. And in real life, I'm like, you have to tell me if you want to be friends, otherwise I'm just gonna feel like I'm annoying you. Teacher, this lesson is very important. Be sure to pay attention. Me, my MAD. So anyway, I started So when I was in therapy back in Joburg, I spoke to my therapist briefly about how I have like this round table of people in my head, and each person represents like a side of me. Like I have a character that's like the logical side of me, then I have the angry character who like hates everything and whatnot, then I have the chaotic character who sets everything ablaze, and then I have the supportive character, and then I have myself. And all of these characters, like I have myself, like me, or my para-me, so those two are linked. Then I have the two of those characters are my own original characters. One is the medic from Team Fortress 2. That's the Set Everything Ablaze side. And then the other guy, who I have an obsession with. So yeah, this is actually very interesting. I think oh, this is becoming way too relatable to me. It's actually becoming creepy. To be honest, and I think I'm like alone in this because a lot of people actually agree with this post, but I don't. Maladaptive daydreaming during lockdown was fantastic. People didn't bother me. People didn't phone me. People didn't expect me to be places. It was fantastic, dude. I could zone out. I didn't have any responsibilities. I didn't have to do any chores. It was like taking a vacation from reality. It was the best thing I have ever experienced in my life. And I mean full-on lockdown, by the way. I'm in South Africa, so when we had lockdown, we started at level question mark, I don't know. But basically no one was allowed outside for like a month. And it was heaven, dude. It was heaven. You could hear the ocean so clearly at night. And I mean, I'm not far. I can walk to the beach. But at night you can hear it. But back then, during lockdown, when no one was allowed outside, you could hear it. It felt like I was right next to the ocean. It was so fantastic. It was so quiet. I want to go back to lockdown, but I still want to get paid. So yeah. But that being said, I realized that a lot of people, you know, during lockdown, they have family. So they live with other people, and that was absolute hell for them because people were constantly in their spaces. Can you tell us about your paracosm, please? Started making it. Had a breakdown. Bon appetit. Yep. I've recorded for 50 minutes. It's been 50. Okay, geez. Yeah, I really love just going through the MADD tag on social media. It's fantastic. And I also feel attacked at the same time. So thanks for that. It's great to make videos like these, and it's great to, like, you know, see other people also deal with these things, or not deal with it, but like I can relate to them. So yeah. With that being said, I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please feel free to leave a like. If you'd like to see more maladaptive daydreaming related content in the future, feel free to subscribe. If you didn't like the video and feel that I can improve in certain areas, feel free to let me know in the comments below and leave a dislike. With that being said, please take care of yourselves, make good choices. Cheers.